What's up, guys? Ian here, coach of your Ladner Lanturn. Bring you guys our semifinals team builder, taking on Savage and the Death Valley Chandelures. So, a rematch here of our week 8 match, I believe. Week 7 match. A rematch for week 7. So, we had our week 8 rematch last week and now week 7 rematch this week. What's really weird is that we'll have like a week 9 or week 11 rematch in the finals if we end up winning this game. So pretty much the first half of our season was completely irrelevant, actually. The first 6 weeks just absolutely meant nothing besides boosting us in the standings. But we take on Savage. His team has not changed since the last time we played him, but mine has because we dropped Aggron for Yon Mega back in week 8. So his priority options are the Primarina with, I guess I should say, he's got Zapdos, Primarina, Aerodactyl, Shaman, Sneasel, Wishy-Washy, Mega Gallade, Gliscor, Aegislash, Typanol, and Beheeyem. Priority users in the Primarina with Aqua Jet, Sneasel with Ice Shard, Mega Gallade with Shadow Sneak, and Aegislash with Shadow Sneak. Hazard setting, he's got the Aerodactyl with Rocks and Gliscor with Rocks. He did set Rocks on me last time with Gliscor, I believe. Removal options, he's got the Zapdos with Defog, Aerodactyl with Defog, and Gliscor with Defog. And then 4 times weaknesses is the Sneasel to Fighting and Gliscor to Ice. In fact, this team is quite weak to Fighting, but he's got a lot of resists too, so it balances itself out, where he's not like super duper weak to Fighting, despite like Typanol coming often. He's brought Typanol a lot at the end of the season. What he brought last time against me was Primarina, Shaman, Mega Gallade, Gliscor, Typanol, and Beheeyem. So I was really weirded out that he didn't bring either Aegislash or Zapdos. Fully expect both of them to come this time. I really think that he needs to bring like physically defensive Zapdos to be solid here, but like Zapdos in general is just like really good against my team, so I'm still really like confused as to why he didn't bring that. He brought Beheeyem last time, which was completely irrelevant, and I really don't think that he's going to bring Beheeyem this time. If I had to guess, he's going to drop the Beheeyem for Zapdos for sure, and then if I really had to guess, he might actually not change anything else. The Shaman is like pretty solid against, Mega Gyarados, if that's the way that he wants to deal with it. It handles it a little bit better than Zapdos would, so I would not blame him if he wanted to go with the Shaman over the Aegislash, which is the other thing that I think might be coming, because I do have a lot that pressures Aegislash. It's slower than a lot of my team, and it's weak to a lot of Pokemon as well, so we'll see if he just leaves the Aegislash on the bench. I wouldn't really be complaining about that, but yeah, so if I'm really having to predict like right away, I think Zapdos, Primarina, Shaman, Gallade, Gliscor, Typanol is his 6. And that is pretty consistent with basically what he brought last time. He had like a Rest Talk Typanol last time, I think. I didn't rewatch the replay this time, but I believe it was like a Assault Vest Prim? No, it was Scarf Primarina, and we knocked off the Scarf or something like that, which is like going to be the only thing that could threaten Cinderace. And then I know that Bulk Up Cinderace just absolutely plowed through him, but I dropped like half of my team from last time. I'm not bringing the same team. So last time I had Mega Gyarados, Thundurus, and Slowking, none of which are coming, and this time instead I'm bringing Mimikyu, Garchomp, and Young Mega, while Genesect, Tangrowth, and Cinderace stay the same. So let's cover the Cinderace and the Tangrowth first on my side. First up is Cinderace. I'm bringing literally the identical set. Like, this is actually just the exact same set as what I brought the last time. So we are outspeeding Sneasel with this, and there's like, yeah, a good chance that this can just pop off again, or at the very least like break for something else, because similar in vein to how we played and built for our match against Revan last week in quarters, I have about 3 win conditions, I think, in this one. Three Pokemon built to be win conditions. So I'm forcibly taking a much more offensive approach than a defensive approach like I did last time, and I'm hoping that that can propel me to the victory. So yeah, Cinderace is exactly the same. If you really care about me going that much more in depth with it, then go back and check out my Week 17 builder. But it's just coverage to hit his team, bulk up, and stab. Tangrowth is, I believe, not even close to the same as what I brought last time. I'm pretty sure this was Spadef last time, so I dropped a Primarina answer in the Tangrowth completely to be a Gallade answer. But it also could have been a Gallade answer last time. I honestly can't remember. Rocky Helmet with Power Whip, Knockoff, Toxic Leech Seed. I'm anticipating him to be X-Scissor Gallade like he was last time. I believe he was X-Scissor last time to hit Slowking and Tangrowth combined, which is the defensive bond, so it makes perfect sense why he would want to be X-Scissor on the Gallade. I think it's going to come again. I really think it's going to come again, but I only need a little bit of chip to really weaken the Gallade. There's no Wish on this team. There's Healing Wish options for him with the Shaman, but I've got the Power Whip there to just hit a variety of things. And then Knock Off to get rid of the Violate on the type Null. Any sorts of items on the Zapdos. If the Gliscor really wants to switch into Tangrowth, I can get rid of that, but probably not. As well as hit Aegislash. Toxic for a wide variety of things. Anything that can be toxic, essentially. And then Leech Seed first for a little bit of recovery when I have to switch something else in. Mimikyu is next. This is another one of my win conditions. I'm actually bringing protective pads for static Zapdos. I really think Zapdos is coming, and I think it's going to be static. Potential Rocky Helmet like Shaman or something along those lines as well. I think this is fine to set up against the type Null. If he tries to go with like a Rest Talk, Swords Dance, Crush Claw set, I'm immune. So like I can handle that kind of type Null set for days. Like he can't afford to be that move slot, that 4 move slot sort of Pokemon against my Mimikyu. I just set up the +6 and I just win the game on it. So that's pretty much how life with Mimikyu is going to be this game. I'm outrunning Gliscor because I'm scared of a speedy Gliscor, as I think I maybe should be. Now that I have a Yanmega on my team, I think the Gliscor could actually be running max speed to try and speed tie Yanmega right out of the bat and like Stone Edge it or something. That depends how scared he is of Yanmega. I think he should be scared, but he may not be scared with the type Null on his team, so we'll sort of see how that goes. But yeah, the last time he had type Null, and it was specially defensive. I think it was actually physically defensive type Null last time, but like just because it's a Violite, I like couldn't beat it with Genesect. Because I'm pretty sure I got like a special attack boost, and I was like, why am I getting a special attack boost on this thing? But we'll talk about that in a second when we get to Genesect. Drain Punch is there for the type Null, and like Sneasel, just things that I don't want to miss on is what Drain Punch is there for. Play Rough is for everything else, and then Shadow Sneak is for Gallade primarily, but it can also hit the Aegislash. I opted out of Shadow Claw because I need to outspeed the Gallade. So like the Gallade will break my disguise or it'll kill me, and I probably don't want either of those things to happen necessarily without scouting what the team is, just based on how Mimikyu plays these days. So that's the Mimikyu. Genesect, I'm running a different set this time, but like around the same EV spread, I think. So I'm outspeeding Primarina with no speed, as well as, max speed Primarina, as well as a no speed base 100s. I think like 40 EV'd invested Zapdos and Shaman, so they'd have to be very, very invested into speed to outspeed this Genesect. This also lets me be modest and have a ton of bulk. This is going to come in handy against Gallade, I think, in a 1v1. I probably won't die to close combat right out of the bat. It'll help very much against the Gliscor, unless it's running Fire Fang. I should definitely outspeed the Gliscor. It'll help against Aegislash, which I outspeed naturally now. Primarina, which I outspeed naturally now. And it should help against the Aerodactyl. Should be able to live a hit from that. Some Wishy-Washy. Shaman, definitely, for sure. So, I think the bulk helps out a lot. Oh, excuse me. Really would not be a me video without a yawn, right? I think last time I was Chill Drive, because Chill Drive just looked amazing against this team. It is so Ice Weak, so incredibly Ice Weak. I'm opting out of that. I am opting into Shock Drive to kill the Primarina, because I'm not running Thunderbolt, I'm running Technoblast Shock, and I think the Technoblast Shock is going to be fine. Like, Gliscor can switch into it, Shaman can switch into it, but neither of them really want to take the Ice Beam afterwards, so yeah, a lot of things going my way there. I do think that I'm probably going to get physical attack boosts on a lot of other things, which is why I'm opting into U-Turn this time. I am still running Modest, so I'm not going to get a ton of damage off with that, but I couldn't afford to like lower my defenses because I think that it's actually pretty important for me to have proper defensive stats this game. And lowering attack doesn't really do much badly for me. Like, I think that lowering attack is really whatever, because whatever I'm going to click U-Turn on anyways, I've got other answers to, right? Like Null, if I'm really clicking U-Turn against that, I can just go into Tangrowth. What would make a lot more sense to me, by the way, on the Null for him is running like Rest Talk, Crush Claw, U-Turn, and like no setup. That would make a lot more sense to me. But yeah, that's the Genesect right out of the bat. Flamethrower's there for the Aegis Slash, and Ice Beam hits like everything else. Like that's why we ran Chill Drive last time, and then Shock Drive is for the Prim. Just because I think I really am going to need a nuke to get through the Prim. Primarina is one of the main things stopping my Garchomp from popping off. So let's go into the Garchomp. I'm running Dragon Fang, Garchomp with Scale Shot, Dragon Claw, Earthquake, Swords Dance. This is one of the sets that I think is the most overrated ever. But I'm running it because I think that it's good in this matchup. And that's pretty much the other reason you really need, right? SD Scale Shot is like solid setup. I pretty much give the Garchomp whatever you would want. Unfortunately, it takes the same turns as 2 turns of Dragon Dance, but Dragon Dance Garchomp would be a little bit OP, no? Because then I have to use one move. I would have an extra move slot for like Aqua Tail. But yeah, I've got Dragon Fang because I'm probably clicking Dragon moves a lot of the time this game. The biggest worry I have is that if Sneasel comes, then this is a little bit of a yikes. But if Sneasel does not come, then I'm probably in a pretty good spot actually with the Chompo. We'll see if I'm even able to set up both. If I'm only able to set up a Swords Dance, that's fine. The last time he didn't bring Aerodactyl or Sneasel, and he only brought the Mega Gallade, so there's only one thing that naturally outsped me. If I can Scale Shot, then I can probably kill the Glade, right? So there's kind of like an opportunity cost of both, but if I can get both up, then I might just win the game outright, depending on how things go. +2 Dragon Claw and +2 Earthquake just decimate a lot of this team. Earthquake is my best way to hit the Primarina, which is why I'm running Shock Drive on the Genesect. Dragon Claw, you know, will melt through a lot of things that just are immune to Earthquake, basically, which is the Zapdos, the Aerodactyl, and the Gliscor. Everything else will take good damage from the Earthquake and the Shaman. I will Dragon Claw that in the face as well. I'm out running base 100s with the speed investment, so the Glade will be the only thing. Assuming he doesn't bring Aerodactyl and Sneasel, which I'm not sure why he would change that up so much. I don't think it's worth it for him. I think he just played really poorly around the Blaze Cinderace last time, and that's what lost him the game. So I don't know that he'll necessarily change his team that drastically, but he could. And there is a lot of stuff that gets ice coverage, so I'm a little bit worried about this win con. It's probably my least valuable win con in a sense, comparatively to the Cinderace and the Mimikyu, which I think can just absolutely pop off. The Garchomp might be used in more of a breaking capacity, like SD, Dragon Claw, or Earthquake, and never clicking Scale Shot, but the Dragon Fang is there for the Dragon Claw. Jay tried to convince me to run Dragon Gem. It's really not worth it in this game when I'm going to be clicking Dragon moves so often. Just having the one-time boost is just not worth it. I'd rather have the 1.2 times boost consistently clicking Dragon Claw, especially when I'm pretty confident that Shaman, Zapdos, and Gliscor are all coming. It's more valuable to me to be running this, but a Gem could be something funky that I'm not going with this time. Last but not least on my side is Yanmega. I'm running a Speed Boost Yanmega, which I have not done yet this season. I've mostly been running Tinted Lens, and this is hard-walled by the Type Null. And I'm just completely flat out with that. It's hard-walled by the Type Null. I'm really going to have to get like Cinderace or Mimikyu or Garchomp in on the Type Null. But it's physically defensive, so there's going to be, like, yeah, I'm going to have some problems with the Type Null, probably. It's not like I would ever not have problems with the Type Null. The only thing that can handle it really well is Hitmonchan, and Hitmonchan has pretty much an unmatchup against Gliscor, Zapdos, Primarina, and Aegislash, as well as Mega Gallade, actually. Yeah, and Beheeyem. Like, the only thing Hitmonchan really does well against is, like, Sneasel type Null. So, yeah, it's not coming, and that's my explanation for why it's not coming ahead of time. But, yeah, I'm running just max special attack, max HP Yanmega this time with Expert Belt. So Expert Belt will help me against the Aegislash, which is why I have Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball should also help against the Gallade, but Air Slash is going to be better against that. So there's pretty much no reason why I would ever click Shadow Ball against the Gallade unless it's in a position where I need to kill it and I can't miss. Ancient Power is there for the Zapdos, so Expert Belt should really help the Ancient Power against the Zapdos damage, and Air Slash against Shaman, things like that, you know what I mean? Ancient Power against Sneasel. I definitely live Ice Shards from the Sneasel. Like, Yanmega's got really good physical bulk, and I'm maxing out my HP stat this game because I don't need the speed at all because I'm running Protect. So Protect will let me speed boost past a lot of things. In fact, let's see what I'm getting up to here. 339, which should outspeed any sort of Gallade that's outspeeding Garchomp right away. And yeah, that's the sort of area that I'm going there. So a second speed boost would let me get above that, and a second speed boost would let me get above like a Scarf Zapdos and whatnot, but I will not be outspeeding necessarily Scarf Primarina right away. There's factors to consider here, but I figured the Yanmega was a pretty decent bring. Tinted Lens also could be really good. Tinted Lens Bug Buzz would absolutely just demolish a lot of this team, but the Type Null is still something that sort of like stands in the way of that. So there's room to work with on the Yanmega, but this is the one that I settled on. So in terms of what I'm not bringing, I'll go like upside down. I already explained Hitmonchan. Thundy T I brought last time. It was kind of strange because like he was in with something that I could have just clicked T-Bolt against. I think it was the Primarina right off the bat, right? And we found it was Scarf like turn 1, and I could have just clicked T-Bolt against it, but I clicked like Knockoff like a few times trying to catch the Gliscor switching in, and I think he just ended up like flip turning after I got rid of the Scarf, and he just got his Toxic Orb off anyways, so it was completely useless, essentially, the Thundy T. It was more there as a Zapdos answer, which I'm more ignoring this time. Like offensive Zapdos, I'm kind of just ignoring. I've done that a lot in this game, actually, so I'm not super confident going into this one. I was a lot less confident going into the last one, and then I just absolutely popped off with Cinderace, so I don't even know what to say about that. But less confident going into this one because I think he has more maneuverability with his team than I do coming into this one. Despite me changing half the team from last time and winning 5-0, that's just how it goes. Mega Gyarados was a solid win con last time. I'm not going to rely on it this time. I think it's okay against the Type Null and whatnot, but I'm just not bringing it. I'm just not. Yanmega is basically in the place of the Mega Gyarados, presumably. Kecleon is another like special wall that could be okay if I really thought the Behemoth was coming. The unfortunate part about Gen 8 is that Aegislash gets close combat now, but it also had Sacred Sword before, so Kecleon is not like the most reliable answer to Aegislash in the world, although it could be a decent Aegislash check. And then Slowking last. I brought Slowking last time, and yeah, the X-Scissor Glade I think killed Slowking, and that was the only thing that died, so Slowking is a decent like Prim Sponge, but it's not coming to this one. So we'll find out if I'm gonna make finals or not when we get into the match. If I make any like last minute changes, I'll let you guys know before we go into the battle. But for now, that's gonna be it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you guys for the match against Savage and the Death Valley Chandelures.